December 2016. Mrs. Barbara Silverstone, CIO for the Federal Revenue Service, FRS, was sitting at her favorite table at an exclusive golf restaurant in Alexandria, Virginia. She was known to the staff at the restaurant because she was a frequent diner, usually meeting other high-profile politicians or government officials, always to talk business, always off the record. Today's meeting was no different. Today, she was meeting with Mr. Joel Salamander, a prominent member and inner circle advisor of the Trump administration. She ordered her usual drink. After placing her order, she noticed a man entering the pub, asking questions of the maitre. She motioned to the waiter. The man approached her table. "Mrs. Silverstone?" "Yes, Mr. Salamander," Barbara responded. "Yes," he responded. "Would you like to order a drink?" Barbara asked. "No, this water will be fine. I am needed back at the office as soon as possible." Miss Silverstone then motioned for the waiter to leave. Joel continued, "I am so glad you could take the time to meet me, to fit me into your schedule to discuss this sensitive issue. Well, I have to admit, I am very intrigued. Your message was very vague. However, given that it involves President-elect Trump, I assumed that it was of utmost importance." "Yes, it is. You see, while most of America is very excited about Trump's historic and decisive victory, unfortunately, there are those who do not share that excitement. And unfortunately, some of these people have prominent positions, and there is a concern within the incoming administration that there are folks who will try and use the FRS to embarrass him by illegally leaking his tax returns. So, I wanted to see what guardrails are in place to prevent this from happening." Mrs. Silverstone paused before responding. "Let me think for a moment. I need to think through what policies and procedures are in place." While she pondered his question, she started wondering how she could best use the situation to her advantage. Since her promotion to the CIO role, there had been an influx of Federal Revenue Inspector General Tax Administration, FRIGTA, complaints against her and the other executives she had promoted, a situation she despised. It had taken her over 10 years to get this position, and she wasn't going to give it up over a few whiny folks. Why should it matter that she didn't always follow the rules? To make progress, the rules sometimes needed to be broken. It sickened her that there were folks always complaining about what HR rule, budget policy, or the Federal Acquisition Regulation, FR, her requests were violating. She just wanted things done, without concern about policies or laws. After a few minutes, Barbara had outlined a solution to meet both her and his needs. Well, there are several unauthorized access policies in place. However, they mostly address issues after the offense has occurred and has been reported to FRIGTA. But after FRIGTA has been notified, the issue has been documented, and quite a few people have been brought into the situation. However, I believe that there may be something that could be done, but we would need to involve the FRIGTA CIO, Stephen. The plan would be for FRIGTA to notify my executive assistant of all FRIGTA complaints prior to acting on any of them, to include entering them into the FRIGTA system. This way, I will be briefed on any potential FRIGTA complaints prior to any action being executed. This way, anything that involves the Trump's tax record can be addressed by me before FRIGTA acts. Her suggestion made Joel a little uneasy. He didn't like the thought of more people being privy to this effort. "Do you think that will be necessary? Both the incoming administration and I would like to involve as few people as possible. Discretion is and will be key." Barbara responded, "Yes, it would, and you don't need to be concerned about him. He and I are friends and have been for years. I'm quite certain of his discretion." Still not convinced, Joel asked, "But do you think that will work, and do you think he will agree to this?" "Yes, and yes. Let me call him now and give him the background. Once I have set up everything, I'll give you a call and let you know that the situation has been addressed." Joel felt relieved. "Okay, I'll leave it in your capable hands. I look forward to the call telling me that the situation has been resolved." As Mr. Salamander got up to leave, Barbara motioned to the waiter to place her lunch order. She was in a great mood. She couldn't believe her luck. She found a way to stop the flood of FRIGTA complaints against her and her executives, all with the blessing of the new incoming administration. A new era at the FRS had been born.